Morning, Diane.
Morning, Kat. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
Fab.
Got a bad elbow, got a golf elbow.
Oh no.
Other than that, it's okay. I saw Bethan last Monday. That's why I was with you Monday. She did a bit of magic on it.
Good.
Yeah, it's that time of year. It's all the competitions and too much golf. Been quite hard in this weather.
With wind or?
Oh, wind. I had to play a match on Saturday. And it was 48, I think, the wind.
Oh.
It was quite interesting.
I'm surprised you were even allowed to go ahead.
Well, there's deadlines on them. You know, you've got to play them by a certain date.
Right, okay.
So, it's the point, you just got to get on with it. How are you anyway? Everything's coming back to the studio, I think.
Yes. Yeah, hopefully. Well, yeah, this will be our last week with me being here. And then, we'll hopefully be in the studio next week.
Well, I won't be.
No, that's absolutely fine.
We've just got a little procedure on the 11th of September. We've got to completely isolate for 2 weeks.
Right.
But will you still be doing it online?
Yeah, no, I'm still offering the online service. So because we're talking about doing some of the classes outside still, weather permitting, but just with the studio timetable, it might be that I have to kind of just say, well, I'm going to pre-record classes and then put them on for people to do.
Yeah.
It's either that or everything has to be done out of the studio. So I'm kind of sort of like waiting to see if people are happy to, I've got a beetle or something in here, do things online in their own time, or whether they want to, whether they need to have a set class time.
It's always nice to be with people.
Yeah.
If it's choice. But, I've got such an erratic life that I've got used to doing it on my own. Even if you do recording, it's not that different.
No.
You don't see all the people during the class. I'm flexible, maybe.
Yeah. So I'm asking people to
come back to the studio, but not probably till October.
Yeah. I'm just sort of asking people to kind of just give me a brief idea of who's looking to stay online, who's hoping to come back into the studio, what kind of times suit people. So on that email there was the survey to then just fill in. And fab. And then you can then just sort of choose whichever membership you want. So you can just do like pay a 1 month online thing and then go, right, well, I'll then go into the studio, or you could, and then change it, whatever. So people can, it's just keep the monthly thing going, but I need it to be more formal now, obviously, rather than it being just an ad hoc, people pay what they can, because we were in lockdown or whatever. So, right, I'm going to save this beetle and just put him outside before we start, and he keeps crawling all over my mat. I don't know where he's come from. Come on. How he's got upstairs. I'm going to quickly go and put him downstairs and outside, and then we'll get going. But yeah, feels like actually having just going back to sort of like the rather than doing a ternary thing and everything, and like see people having to pay sometimes for 8 weeks in a go or something like that. I just thought it seemed to be quite nice to have the monthly, the kind of pattern that we kind of, and you know, people can, you know, you could go, well, I know I'm here for 3 months, all right, well, I'll do it for 3 months, then I might be away for a bit, so I'll cancel it then. Or you know, it might be, well, I've got 2 months where I'm doing this, right, okay, and then I'm going to be able to, so you can, you know, chop and change it around then as people want. And then just try and hope that if it's all kind of, everyone's just paying it all online as well, and I'm not trying to chase around people all the time as well. So for bits.
And that's to do with the Jane app.
The payment system is online, but it's separate to Jane app. But the class, if you're going to be coming into the studio, then the bookings will need to go on through Jane app. Obviously, if you're doing it online in your own time or whatever, then you'll just get your link to the videos as and when they come out. So yeah, still trying to, in some ways, I think I know what I'm doing, but I still got to sort of get my head around it all, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed it all works. It's like everything else at the moment. You're kind of just having to hope for the best and kind of take on new things pretty quickly.
Have we got no French or this morning?
Claire's got, she was her mum's birthday this week. So she's got, she's busy there with things. And then Brett is back working now. So, so she's having to, she's still doing them, but just in her own time. So she'll be joining us at a later point. Right, let's get going then. So coming to lie on the mat. So either legs out long, finding the corners of the mat, or with the knees bent. If you want to use your hands to help just tune into the breathing for a little bit, your hands can be on your belly or your chest, or if you prefer, we're letting the hands flop out to the side. Tuning into the breath then when you're ready. We're taking some big breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And as you breathe, trying to, in your own time, let the breathing slow down, become deeper. So we're not forcing the breath or anything, we're just letting it gradually find its own way into that slow, strong, deep rhythm. Just looking for that movement then in the belly and the chest, the breath. Then you're using your breath to just connect with the body, connect with the mind. So scanning through the body. Just checking in with how you're feeling. And then checking in with the mind, seeing if that breath has helped the mind perhaps to just calm and relax a little bit. We just try and shut out, switch off any of the thoughts we don't need right now. We're here just for a moment longer as we follow work with the breath. And then begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes, the hands and the feet. So just walking the feet away from you if you need to, so that we can take the arms back and have a big breath in, stretch out from fingers to toes. And then when you're ready, we're hugging the knees up in towards the chest. Taking a little rock from side to side, or drawing little circles with the knees as we just allow the back to release towards the floor. And bring the knees into the middle. See if you can just exhale, give them a little tighter hug up in towards you. As you start to just feel maybe the tailbone just lift a little away from the floor, perhaps the lower back sinking a little bit deeper in towards the mat. And then let the feet come all the way back down towards the floor. Walk the feet away. Take the arms back past the head. And we're going to wriggle the fingers and the toes over towards the right edge of your mat. So just shuffling the feet over. Shuffle the shoulders so that you can bring the arms and the fingers over to the right side. So make a little sort of crescent moon or banana shape with the body. Big inhale. Breathe into the left side. So just starting to open out, stretch through the left side of the body. Pausing here as we take some big breaths in. And then exhale, come back into the middle. And then we're going to take the body, the feet, the legs round to the left side. So just sliding, shuffling the feet over to the left edge of the mat. Wriggle, take the shoulders over to the left side. Reach out with the fingertips over to the left. Feel that stretch start to come down through the right side of the body then now, and then inhale. Focus the breath down the right side. I'm just going to take one more breath here. And then come back into the middle. Hug the knees back up again, in towards the body. Squeeze them in nice and tight. See if you can wrap the arms around the shins, or maybe you could try wrapping around the backs of the thighs instead. Finding the opposite elbows. As you exhale, gently press the belly button down in towards the floor. We're going to bring the chin to the chest. And then just lift the head towards the knees. See if you can find a bigger stretch through the back. And then lower all the way back down towards the floor. Find the backs of the thighs if you're not holding them already. We're going to take a little rock and roll then up to sitting. So as you exhale, roll yourself all the way up. Taking a couple of rolls then here if you want. We're going to inhale, tuck the chin in, roll back. Exhale, bring yourself up again. Bringing yourself all the way through to sitting. And then we're just going to find a comfortable seated position. So if you can, finding that cross-legged position. If that doesn't work for you today, then adjust. Maybe put the cushion or the block underneath your hips. Sit nice and tall. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, twist to the right. Bringing the fingertips down. So we've got the left hand in front, right hand just behind you. Fingers just gently pressing into the floor with that little bit of a press down with the fingertips. Just reminding you then to grow up out of the spine, up through the crown of the head. Inhale, come back into the center, reaching the arms all the way up. And then as you exhale, twist the other way. So again, fingertips just pressing lightly on the floor. Lifting then up through the spine. Good. Come back into the center. And we're going to take the left leg then out to the side. Tuck the right leg in. So we're just bringing the toes in towards the inner thigh. Sit nice and tall. We're going to inhale, reach the right arm up. And then as you exhale, just take a little lean over the left leg. As you inhale, sit up. Root down through the right side, the right sit bone, reach the right fingers up. So exhale, take it over. Inhale, come back up again. Root down through that right sit bone, hip, lift up. Exhale, lean over. So just finding some bigger, deeper stretches now through that side body. We're going to go for a couple more, maybe starting to notice perhaps a little stretch through the left leg as you reach those fingers a little bit further over. And then release the left hand down, the right hand down. And we're going to take just a little bit of a shift round so that we start to point our chest towards the toes. So we're going to do the same thing, this time coming straight forwards over the legs. So breathe in, reach the arms up. As you exhale, fold at the hips, reach down over that left thigh. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, try to fold again. So working a little bit more into the legs then now. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Seeing if maybe you can find just a little bit more movement each time you come over. So we're going to lift and fold one more time. Inhale, lift. Release the hands down. Give your shoulders a little roll round. And then we're going to come back into our easy seated position. So we've got the right foot tucked in towards that left thigh. See if you can just bring the right leg, the left leg in front. See if you know you can't create this easy seated pose today. Find a little bit of a variation so you can sit comfortably. We're going to inhale, reach the left arm up. As you exhale, take a twist to look towards your right knee and then round down through the spine. Push the left sit bone, the left hip down in towards the floor. Let the hair hang heavy, tucking the chin in towards the chest. And just take a nice big deep stretch through the left side of the back. Just allow the arms to rest wherever feels comfortable. So you might notice that stretch coming up through the upper back and the neck, or maybe it's focusing more down through the lower back and into the hip. Maybe it's coming the whole way through. Inhale, sit yourself up. Come back into the middle. Give those shoulders a little roll around again if you need to. Relax them down the spine. And then we're going to take the right leg out long. Tucking the left toes then just into the side of that right thigh if we can. Obviously make an adjustment, come a little bit wider if you need to protect the hip or the knee. So we're going to come into our side fold rather than the forward one. So as you inhale, take the left arm up this time, and then as you exhale, we're going to reach over the right leg. Inhale, come back up. So exhale, over the right. Inhale, lift. So we're just moving forwards and backwards over the right leg. See if you can just take that one more, maybe find a little bit more movement. Big stretch, pushing down through that left hip. Inhale, as you sit up, release the arm down, give the shoulders a little roll around. And then we're gonna spin just take that little adjustment with the hips so that we're a little bit more face on with the right toes then now. So again, make sure you're looking after the ankle and the knee and the hip on that left side. Make the adjustment with the legs so that the joints feel okay if you need it. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, take your forward fold over the leg. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold forwards. So we're going to lift. And then fold. So just finding, again, that little bit more movement, maybe a little bit more stretch in the backs of the legs. A little bit more work maybe into the lower back area. So take one more. Lifting all the way up, release the arms down, give yourself that little roll round with the shoulders, just relaxing the arms and the shoulders. And then we're going to fold or bring the right leg back in front of the left. So we're going to come back into that easy seated pose again if we can. Make sure you're looking after the joints, make adjustments if you need it. We're going to inhale, reach the right arm up, and then as you exhale, twist towards the left knee, releasing the hand down, chin to chest, roll down through the spine. So try not to rock too much onto that left side. We want to stay grounded, stay rooted down through the right hip. Hands, the fingers are just going wherever feels comfortable. And then we're going to just pause here for a little bit longer, see if you can go a little bit deeper. So you can allow the knees and the legs to feel heavy at the same time as the spine relaxes. And then we're sitting up. Sit nice and tall, give the shoulders a little roll round. Release the legs, so you're going to bring the knees out in front of you. Leaning back onto the hands. Just take a little windscreen wipe with the knees. Good, come back into the middle. And then take the legs out wide. So we're going to come into our seated wide leg position. So again, keep the block, keep the cushion into the hips if you need it. Flexing both feet. Sit nice and tall. And then when you're ready, we're just going to exhale, bring the body forward. So if you know that you automatically come into that round position as you fold, take the fingertips back behind you so that then you use your arms to pull the shoulders back into the middle of the spine. Push through the fingertips just to try and keep that more open space through the chest. So we're just going to hold here, breathe. So maybe finding that stretch on the insides of the thighs, down through the backs of the legs, maybe noticing something in the lower back and the hips. Keep focusing on the breathing. Good. Inhale, bring yourself all the way back up. Push yourself up, back to sitting. Find the backs of the knees, walk the feet in. And then we're going to send the legs out long in front. So we're going to take the left leg out. Squeeze the right knee in and up in towards the chest, planting the right foot on the floor. Gently squeeze the thigh towards the chest as you find a little bit of length. And then we're going to keep the hands in that clasp position around the legs. As you exhale, twist through the belly, twist through the chest, twist through the shoulders, twist through the neck, sliding those arms then round that right knee. Keep hugging the right knee in towards you. See if you can exhale, twist a little bit further through the belly, through the chest, through the shoulders, through the neck. Then just release the right fingers back behind you. Drop the shoulders, melt them down the spine. Find that little rooting point at the base of the spine, the hips that we've been grounding down through earlier. This time we're grounding down through both sides. And then as you exhale, release it. Come back into the middle. Bring the left foot up to join the right. Wrap the arms around the shins. Squeeze the legs in, sit up tall, drop the shoulders down. Just feel the sit bones then grounding down, lengthen up through to the crown of the head. See if maybe you feel a little bit of lift, a bit of length up through the spine. And then as you breathe out, send the right leg out long in front. Clasp the fingers, we're clasping the hands together around that left shin then now. Just feel the sit bones rest down, flex the right foot. Squeeze the thigh and the chest together, sit nice and tall. And then we're going to exhale, start to twist through the belly, twist through the chest. Remember the hands are staying together, they're just sliding around the legs. So it's twist through the belly, twist through the chest, twist through the shoulders, twist through the neck. Inhale, sit tall. And then see if you can exhale, twist a little bit further through the belly, through the chest, through the shoulders, through the neck. Sliding that left hand, right hand a little bit further around, left fingers. I'm going to come behind. Just giving you that little bit of scaffolding, that little bit of support to stay tall. Here for a couple more breaths. Maybe you can find a little bit more twist. Remember that twist is coming all the way through each bit of the body, so lower back and belly and chest and shoulders and neck each time. Good, and release. Come back into the middle. Hug the right knee back up towards you. Wrap around both legs. Squeeze the belly, chest and thighs together. Sit tall. And then as you exhale, just drop the chin to the chest. Allow the head to drop down and relax. So we're going to just think of the weight coming down through the sit bones again. As we let the head hang heavy. Finding that little, maybe just a little mini stretch here in the back. And then send the legs long. Bringing the feet together. Just walk the hands a little way back behind you. So the fingertips are just pointing towards the top of the mat. So that you start to just take a little lean backwards through onto the hands. As you inhale, squeeze the shoulders up, back and round, pressing the shoulder blades into the middle of the spine. Lift the chest. So very gentle mini back bend here. No need to let the head drop back or anything like that. The eyes are just looking a little way up and out in front of you. So if your chest is pointing outwards, your heart is pointing outwards, your nose is just facing the same way. Take some big breaths in here. Feel that lovely feeling of expansion here after all the sort of folding and twisting and rounding that we've been doing. Good. Gently release it. Bringing yourself back up to sitting, and then swing the knees and the feet round so we can come into our tabletop. So exploring that little arching, the arch through the spine that little bit more as we come into our cat stretch. So as you exhale, take the round up through the spine. As you inhale, squeezing the chest forwards, drawing the shoulders back. So exhaling to round. Inhaling to arch. So that belly button is very gently just lifting back into the spine each time as you round, just to kind of help create that bigger, stronger C shape in the back. And then we let it go as we draw the shoulders back and arch through the front. So a big round stretch through the back of the body. And then a big stretch through the front of the body, using the muscles in that lower back to help us arch then here. We're just going to go for a couple more rounds, just seeing if you can find that connection of the movement starting and beginning with the breath, ending with each breath, or each inhale and each exhale. And then come back into the center, send the hips back, come to your child's pose. So just creating your own version of child's pose, so knees together or knees wide. Seeing where the arms and the hands feel comfortable to go. Maybe you feel at this point, you just want a little bit of extra support under the head. And then long, big, deep breaths in. Ground down with the hips sinking towards the heels. And then when you're ready, we're going to move through our tabletop so we can lift a downward facing dog. So just reaching the arms out in front of you if they're not there already on your inhale, lifting yourself up into tabletop, tucking the toes under, and then exhaling up and through into our downward facing dog. Pausing here, giving yourself whatever movement you need to allow the body to ease into this downward dog position. Maybe giving the knees a nice little shake out, particularly after kneeling for a little while. Maybe giving the feet a big pedal, giving the hips a shake, neck a shake. And then when you're ready, see if you can lengthen out through the backs of the knees as best as you can as we try and send the heels as deeply towards the floor as possible. So no worries if there's a bend in the knees and a lift of the heels. That's okay. Just work wherever you feel you can at this point today. Maybe feeling that stretch in the backs of the legs, maybe noticing a stretch through the spine. And then try and feel the weight spread evenly down through the hands and through the feet. So there isn't weight coming more through one part of the body than another. We're spread out through all little corners of I think we're making a rectangle with the hands and the feet. We're trying to spread the weight evenly through that rectangle. Good. When you're ready, we're going to then bring the feet up towards the top of the mat. So just finding your own way there. Lots of little steps if you want. Once you get there, we're keeping the feet under the hips just for the moment. Allow yourself to round, bend the knees. It's giving the spine a moment just to drop towards the floor. Let the arms hang heavy. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone under, gently draw the belly into the spine to support the back as we round up. Curling all the way up to the top of the crown of the head. Reach the arms up. So don't bring the hands together just yet. Just reach up all the way through to the fingertips. So we've got the feet underneath the hips. The arms are kind of over the shoulders. So see if you can then just press down through the left foot, reach up through the left fingertips. Press down through the right foot, reach up through the right fingertips. So we're kind of almost trying to make a rectangle shape, pressing down through the feet and reaching out through the fingertips again here. Finding a little bit of strength through the whole of the body. As we engage through the whole of the body. And then exhale, just slowly let the arms just roll back down by the side. Maybe give the shoulders a little roll round so they settle down through the ribs. Good. So we're going to inhale, reach up with the arms. This time the palms are coming together. And then exhale, bend through the hips. Maybe take a bend through the knees as well as we come into our forward fold. If it feels okay, lift up through the hips then. Pausing for a moment here as we just let the head drop in our forward fold. Maybe you can have the hands that little bit higher up on the thighs or the shins. And then we're going to step back with the right foot. So as you inhale, step back with the right leg coming into our lunge position. So we're going to work on our hips. So we're taking the right down towards the floor. Inhale, lift up with the chest. Just bring the hands onto the front thigh, roll the shoulders back. Press and through the front of the thigh, so not on the knee, on the thigh, as you roll the shoulders back. Lift the chest. So the back toes are tucked under. We're going to push through the toes as we lift the chest, just starting to open through the thigh, the hip flexor. And then we're going to just slowly take this position a little bit deeper. We're going to work as far as we feel we would like to take it today. When you're ready, exhale, then drop forwards. Bring the hands down towards the floor as we start to move into our lizard pose. So the left foot's just going to walk itself, shuffle itself out towards the edge of the mat so we can keep the arms and the shoulders square underneath the shoulders. Try to keep the back toes tucked under just for the moment. Breathe here. Maybe have a little tuck under with the tailbone as well. Maybe just finding a little bit more opening, a little bit more work through the pelvis and the hips. Then if you want to go that little bit deeper, we're going to start to walk the hands out just a little way in front so we can bend the elbows. So remember, if you have got a cushion or a block or anything like that that you'd like to use, it could be a rolled up blanket even, just to bring the floor towards you so that you can lean on a bit of support. We've got that option. If you feel you're able to come down towards the mat with the elbows, then bring the elbows down towards the mat. See if you can still just keep the back toes tucked under, sending a little bit of energy up through the legs. Try not to let the shoulders, the head and the heart, the chest to collapse. See if we can keep reaching the chest open, reaching out through the heart, the chest, the shoulders back, just to keep a little bit of openness there. Good. Press ourselves all the way up. Come back to wherever you wherever you can, so that you can then just step your left foot back towards your right. Tuck the toes under, drop the shoulders over the wrist, tuck the tailbone under. If you want to move through to full plank, then just lift the knees up off the floor. Good. So breathe, hold, squeeze the belly in. Nice. When you're ready, drop the knees to the floor. Exhale, come all the way down to the mat. So we're going to either hold our cobra or our sphinx pose. So if you're working on cobra, just leave the fingertips under the shoulders. If you want to move through to sphinx, we're going to bring the elbows under the shoulders. So when you're ready, inhale, roll the chest up. So elbows under the shoulders if you prefer. Squeeze the shoulder blades back into the middle of the spine. Ground down then with the tops of the feet, the thighs, the hips. Just finding that little bit of connection through the mat, the floor. One more breath. And then gently roll down through the spine, bringing yourself all the way down towards the floor. Just let the head rest on the hands for the moment. Let the toes roll in and the heels roll out. Feel the bottom of the rib cage rest heavy. The belly resting heavy on the floor. The fronts of the hips, the thighs. Maybe a little bit of connection with the knees all the way down through to the feet. So we're allowing the front of the body just to relax and press heavy, be heavy in towards the floor. Good. Just very slowly, very gently then start to lift yourself up away from the floor. So just bringing the hands back round under the shoulders, pushing up through the arms onto the knees, tucking the toes under, exhaling then up into our downward facing dog. Pause and breathe here. Think of that little rectangle then again. So we're rooting down, grounding through each point of our rectangle on the floor. And then when you're ready, start to find your way up to the top of the mat with your right leg. So we're just doing whatever we need to, maybe dropping the knees down, scooping that right leg forwards. Finding our low lunge to start. So press through the back toes. We're going to keep the toes tucked under if we can. Press through the toes, the foot, lifting the chest up, hands onto our thigh. Just drop the shoulders back. So obviously we're not pressing down and squeezing those shoulders up to the ears. We want to relax them back, drop them down. The upper body is that chest, that heart area is trying to stay open as we just start to work a little bit deeper through the hips. Maybe finding a little tuck under the tailbone here. So try not to actually press on the knee joint. It's on that sort of fleshy, muscular part, the strong thigh part of the leg. Good, and we're going to exhale. Start to take the hands down towards the floor. Just walk, shuffle that right foot out then towards the side of the mat so that we can keep our shoulders and our wrists square with the hips. We don't want to be twisted out to the side today. Trying to keep the toes tucked under, just keep a little bit of activity, a little bit of energy running up through that back leg if we can. Grab your block, your support, whatever it is you want to use if you need it. See if you can start to make your way down onto the elbows. No worries if that's not happening on this side. We can just stay On the hands here, that's okay. It's always about the intention. It's not about what we look like, it's what we're trying to do. That's the important part. Breathe here. Again, try not to just collapse and round, sort of letting all the weight just flop into the arms or the hands. See if you can keep the shoulders rolled back, the chest lifted, keeping ourselves open at the front here. Let the heart shine. Good. Lift yourself up through on the hands. We're going to shuffle the right leg all the way back. And just relax back through to our child's pose. Again, knees can come that little bit wider this time if you prefer. Maybe this time you'd rather bring them in closer. Hands just resting wherever feels good. Maybe support the head. Maybe have them round by the feet. So just pausing for that moment to just kind of listen in, check in with the body, see where we want to take this child's pose this time. Maybe give the head a little roll from side to side, so we just massage across the forehead around the third eye. Here for a couple more breaths. Keep the hips rooted down to the heels. And then when you're ready, we're going to just slowly walk the hands back in, releasing the feet round to the side. Finding your way then all the way down towards the floor. So just rolling yourself down through your spine. When you get there, we're going to come into our reclined pigeon pose. So we're going to cross the right leg over the left shin. So make sure you've got the ankle free to the side. It's always the shin, the calf that rests on that left thigh. As you exhale, just trying to take the left foot then up off the floor so we can reach the arms round through the back of the left thigh. So the right hand's just coming through that little space, that little triangle in between the legs. Squeeze the knees then in towards you if you can. So you're kind of giving them a little hug into the chest at the same time. And then option to maybe use that right elbow to just help open that right knee a little bit deeper out to the side. So enjoying a nice big stretch into that right hip here. Maybe you know that hip is a little bit tight, so try and enjoy it, smile through it, breathe through it. See if you can allow the hips just to kind of relax and feel heavy against the floor. So rather than tensing up and against the stretch, we're allowing them to relax, just to ground, feel supported by the mat, the floor, the earth underneath. Good. Releasing then with the hands. Just drop the left toes, the left foot back towards the floor. So yoga's choice then now with our next twist. We're either sliding the right leg so that the thighs come together, dropping the right arm out to the side, and you're just going to exhale, roll the knees over to that left side. Sometimes that can feel just a little bit too much then in the back. It's just a little bit too strong of a twist. If that's the case, we're going to uncross the legs and just do exactly the same thing then. Roll the knees over to that left side. So choose which variation of the twist that you want to take with the legs. Then think of that twist coming from the knees all the way up through the right hip. And then as you keep exhaling, the same idea as what we did earlier when we were sitting, we're rolling back, twisting through the belly, through the chest, through the shoulders, all the way out to those right fingertips, and then roll and twist through the neck. So we look over to the right as well. Good. As you exhale, just gently squeeze the belly and roll the knees back into the center. Uncross the knees, and then either take a little stretch out from fingers to toes, breathe in as you stretch out, or if you prefer, have a hug of the knees. So choose which option you'd like to take. And then release your stretch, your little release there, release and stretch there. Bend both knees, plant the feet flat on the floor, and we're going to bring the left shin over onto the right thigh. As you exhale, see if you can draw the right foot up on the floor, trying to reach around, find the back of the left thigh. Don't worry if you can't quite clasp the hands together, even if you're just kind of holding onto the side of the leg, that's okay. Another option here is to kind of actually have a little strap or belt or scarf or something that you can actually wrap around the back of the thigh to help the knee come up towards you. See if you can squeeze those knees in, and then you've always got that little extra option of pressing the left elbow into the left thigh as you open the left knee out to the side. Breathing, working into the stretch in the left hip then now. Again, allow that hip area, that pelvis area to feel heavy, to feel relaxed. So it's got all the support from the floor, the earth underneath it. So that we're trying to let the whole of the back, the hips relax, well, the back and the hips, but maybe the hips to just release and relax here as they feel grounded and supported. Good. Exhale, release the right foot down towards the floor. So we're going to come into our twist again. So again, you've got that option of coming into our twist with the legs crossed or with just the legs stacking one on top of the other. So if you want to go for the legs crossed option, slide the legs together. Otherwise, just take the right foot down towards the floor. We're going to open the left arm out to the side. And then as you exhale, roll the knees over to the right. So if you have gone for the cross-legged option and then you get there and you think, oh, maybe not, just come back into the center, uncross the legs, and then take them over again. Once you've picked your position, you can always adjust it as you need to. So then we're just going to think of that twist coming up from the knees to the hips. And then as you exhale, rolling back through the belly and the chest, the lower back, the belly, the chest, the shoulders, reaching all the way out to the fingertips, and then twisting through the neck as well. So we look over to that left side. So stretch all the way out through to those left fingertips if you've got the space. And then we're going to come back into the middle. Again, yoga's choice. Have a hug of the knees or take a stretch out from fingers to toes. Maybe you want to do something different this time to what you did last time. Good. We're just going to finish with a little extension up through the legs. So we're not coming into our shoulder stand today. We are going to stay with the back and the hips fully supported with the floor, the mat underneath. Just exhaling, reaching the toes up towards the ceiling. Let the arms relax and feel heavy by your side. And then just keeping the feet, the legs together. Draw some tiny little circles on the ceiling with your toes. Or on the sky with your toes. So that you can feel just a little bit of movement just around the very base of the spine, sacroiliac, where our kind of pelvis meets the spine. And then draw those circles back the other way. Come back into the middle. Just have the toes over the knees over the hips as best you can. There's a little bend in the knees, don't worry about it. We're just trying to think of the legs just kind of stacking up and sinking down into that hip space, sinking into the floor. And as you exhale, slowly bend the knees, bringing them down towards the chest until you can then take your toes down towards the floor. Plant your feet just in front of your hips. And as you exhale, turn the tailbone up. Just slowly peel one vertebrae up off the floor at a time until you come to a point where you're resting through the shoulders. And then hold here, just take a breath or two. Really push the knees away, lift the hips up. Have a little open out here through the front. And then exhale, roll all the way back down towards the mat. We're going to take a last little release or little stretch here. So maybe it's a nice little hug of the knees. Maybe you'd like to take a happy baby pose. Maybe your body's asking for a last little twist, or maybe there's a completely different stretch or a little bit of movement you'd like to take. So just grounding, noticing what the body's asking for. And then when you're ready, and only when you're ready, start to settle and move into Shavasana. So as ever, if you need to maybe just put a layer back on or anything like that before you come to settle on the floor. Make sure you are going to feel warm, you're going to feel comfortable. And then we're looking to find that comfortable position to lie in on the mat. By all means, keep a bend in the knees if you need it. Closing your eyes. If you'd like to take a moment with the hands perhaps on the belly or the chest as you just sort of re-cue slowly back into the breathing, you can. Otherwise, we're just letting the arms flop, relax out to the side. Big breaths in then now. Then just let the legs coming all the way from the hips, just feeling the whole of the legs, just roll, relax, flop down towards the floor, feeling them sink heavy all the way down towards the heels. And then coming from the shoulders, allowing the shoulders to drop, melt back, and then working all the way down through the arms, to the hands, to the fingertips. Letting them rest and sink heavy back on the floor. Then allow the hips to drop and sink back. So you feel the lower of the back relax back. Allow the lower rib cage, the lower chest, that mid-back area, just to melt back and be heavy on the floor. Now we're going to take the upper back, the upper part of the chest, the heart, just let it sink back. Let the heart, the upper chest, back, rest back heavy. And finally, just feel the neck and the head sink back together, melting back towards the floor. Resting here. The breathing turns back to normal, the mind switches off, and you just pause for a last moment here. Gently start to move the fingers, the toes, the hands and the feet. Give yourself a little movement through the arms and the legs as you start to float them all the way back past your head, giving yourself a big stretch out from fingers to toes. And then when you're ready, hug the knees up in towards your chest so you can take a little rock from side to side, making your way round onto your side, just slowly pushing yourself up to sitting when you're ready. Sit tall, relax your shoulders. We're going to breathe in, take the arms up, palms together at the top, and then exhale. Bring your hands down through to your center as you bow your head to your fingers, just acknowledging your time and effort on the mat today, sealing it in with namaste.
Namaste.
Good. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Exclusive.
Yes.
That's great. Thank you.
Good. All right.
Good. Have a good week.
And you. And I hope will you be in? No, it's 14th, isn't it? You said you had.
No, we got to go. The 11th is having this procedure, so
right.
we've got to go into isolation on Saturday.
On Saturday.
2 weeks before.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So it's a couple of weeks.
It doesn't seem like anything anymore, does it?
No. Fine. Yeah. So I'll.
See you maybe in the studio next week.
Yes. Yeah. So, like I said, I'll have to. Yeah. I'm not. I think we're all I think we're all going to have as a family. We're going to